Hello Gemini, and guess what? I'm going to speak about you today. How is the Gemini? You are a riddle to me. Geminis for me, they are, if I look at them, they are the eternal teenagers. They are the eternal teenagers ruled by the Mercury, the planet Mercury. Mercury, Quicksilver, right? And an air sign, so the movement. But for me, you are those eternal teenagers. And how are the teenagers, by the way? We all know how the teenagers can be. Very, very difficult to understand. Trying to find themselves somehow. Because the Gemini, they are the twins, right? The twins. But not this way, but they are this way. So always the contradiction is there inside of them. Always the two things in mind, in life, the way they deal with things. Always there are two to the Gemini. When you say, excuse me, I can always keep on saying Gemini. I'm not so much used to say Gemini, so pardon me for my pronunciations, okay? So when you see a Gemini, you feel as if you are seeing two people at the same time. Well, don't go and get your specs checked or changed, because you indeed are watching just one person, but the person is quite a contradictory person unless they have the earth sign that grounds them more and that makes them appear as one single person. So when you are speaking to a Gemini, you have to know you are speaking to two people. If you're married to a Gemini, you are married to two people at the same time, because in one exists two, okay? And it's very interesting to be with a Gemini, because you spend your life discovering them, and maybe at the end of the life, I've not met someone, maybe at the end of the life, I would have liked to understand if the partner actually could fathom, actually could define what her or his Gemini partner was. It would go more, how do you say, it would be more focused on the Gemini man, because the Gemini woman is also very, very changeable. However, you can somehow fathom her, but the Gemini man is absolutely difficult to fathom. You just cannot touch and say, yes, he is like that. No, she may be, but he, no way, don't even try. You'll be tired, you'll be exhausted. I've tried once in my life and I was tired. Believe me, I was quite tired, but it was entertaining. Yes. So basically, Gemini, how do you spot a Gemini? Normally they are slender, you know, the body is a bit slender. The features are quite sharp. You should look into their eyes, very twinkle. You know, they have this naughty twinkle in their eyes. Try to look into their eyes, but you know, not more than a second. You cannot look into their eyes, because the eyes are all the time moving. A Gemini rarely focuses or sets his eyes more than a second on one thing. He looks at one thing, and then the Gemini eyes are revolving. They keep on, you know, looking in different directions. This is how you can spot a Gemini very easily. The ever-changing glance. They keep glancing at different things. In seconds they can. And why is that so? I used to wonder why a Gemini behaves in that certain way. Because it's a very curious sign, okay? They are extremely curious. They want to know everything. They are extremely curious. They cannot say that, okay, I have to develop this particular, if they have a particular subject to develop on, they will be on it, but at the same time they will have 10,000 other things going on. They will be with you here at this moment, but they are in 10,000 other places at the same time. Their mind is running. Their mind keeps running and their mind keeps changing. Have you ever planned something with a Gemini? Try planning something with a Gemini, especially the partners of Gemini. They can suffer this a lot. One of my friends is married to a Gemini, and she kept telling me is that it's extremely difficult for me because the moment he enters the house, he has a particular mood. And after he would say, okay, let's go to a restaurant today, you don't need to cook. So she goes, she gets ready. She's completely dressed up to go. And then he announces that finally, I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe you can cook something at home. And she's like, I got ready and we are about to go. And he's like, oh no, I'm too tired today. Well, but you said it. Yes, honey, tomorrow, we'll go tomorrow, okay? Or we'll keep it for this weekend. It would be very good. Maybe we can go to a better restaurant than what we had planned for today. And he will the Gemini spin the charm around their partners, and finally the partner gives in. If the partner is patient, of course, you have to be really, really patient with Geminis, because they are those kind of eternal teenagers. They are those kind of Mercurian people that you have to keep adapting. They cannot be on one thing at a time. They have to be on different things at a time. Gemini, it reminds me of those, the psychedelic lights, those which keep changing. Exactly, they are like that. You go and it just, they just keep changing. That's like those lights. You say, oh, now it's white. Oh, now it's red. Oh, now it's blue. Oh, now it's purple. Oh, now it's yellow. And then you are like, okay, it's changing. They are colorful. They are extremely colorful people. You will never know when you are with a Gemini. You will never know when a reality ends and an illusion begins. This is what it is all about. They are extremely entertaining to be around with. They have a very good sense of humor. They have a wonderful, a wonderful sense of humor, and they will entertain you the way they speak. They are such charmers. They communicate so well. This is why they end up being the best sellers. The Geminis are the best promoters and the best sellers. They have the gift of the gab. So if you are planning to recruit someone on the selling jobs, ask them when were they born. If it's a Gemini, hire them. They will do a very good job. They are extremely good sellers. However, you have to check the facts sometimes. They can be brutally honest or extremely honest to the extreme, or otherwise also. And that is the thing inside the Gemini. It is the duality. One self keeps on fighting with the other self all the times. Maybe the Geminis don't have really best friends. I don't remember of having seen a Gemini with a best friend. They will be with everyone, yet they are with no one. They are free birds. They are free birds. Even if there is a marriage ring on their finger, they are free birds inside of them. You cannot really pin down, hook a Gemini. If you feel that you have got a Gemini and that's for a lifetime, excuse me, you are making a mistake, because they are not like that. They need their freedom. It's an air sign. You cannot trap the air. It's too free. Except in a packet of potato chips, maybe. Sorry. Yeah, but no, you cannot. The air cannot be trapped. These people cannot be trapped. They need freedom. They have to be free. These people, they don't belong to the earth. Geminis, I feel, they really don't belong to the earth. They are belonging up there. They are free. They are the air. So they might be a bit uncomfortable on this earth, because the earth means grounding, and for them that doesn't exist. They have to be all over. They have to have their mind, their quick intellect. This is their positive thing. Their mind keeps on working, and they're extremely intelligent beings, extremely intelligent. You cannot catch a Gemini in a particular argument. You cannot. You just cannot. You start arguing with them, they will have really good arguments, because their mind is really quick and sharp. So they really, process. Their minds are like computers. Maybe Google should have been named Gemini because they really, process everything very quickly. And I don't know from where they get these informations, but quickly they will just come up with the right piece of information, the right kind of defense that they need at the right time, and they will keep on. You can never win in an argument with a Gemini. It's very, very difficult. And the moment they see that things are getting difficult in the argument, if they know a few of your secrets, your past things, your secrets, those skeletons that were lying nicely buried for years, they will get them out and they will rattle the bones so bad and so dangerously that you will feel, why the hell did I get into this argument with this Gemini? You cannot win an argument with them. They are too intelligent. They are extremely intelligent beings. They are very good friends to be around with. For entertainment, they are the best people. They are the best entertainers. I would say they are the most versatile actors and actresses. They are versatile artists, basically. They are artists at heart. Very much of an artist at heart they are. Because they are so versatile that you put them into any role in life. They blend so well. They adapt. You ask a Gemini to go and settle in a new country, and you ask maybe Cancer or a Taurus to go and settle in a new country, and compare how long each of them takes to feel at home. Number one would be Gemini. In no time they would adapt. In no time they would adjust. They really have this wonderful adaptability. They are like water. You put them, yes, water actually. You put them into any container, they take the shape of it. You put any color in it and they become of that color. Have you noticed a Gemini in a party, For example, you take them to a very peppy party and you notice the Gemini. They are as peppy as the ambience is. You take them into, a place where it's very serious, very sophisticated parties, and they will be extremely sophisticated there. You take them to, this kind of ambience which you normally would feel difficult to be in, and in no time they will strike a very good conversation with someone, and slowly they will get to know everyone in no time, and they have made 10,000 friends that evening. It's like you watch them and you wonder, what are these beings made up of? How can they be so cool? That's the word, they are cool. As far as they're alone, it's very nice. you appreciate those trends as far as they are alone. You love to see them mixing and adapting and, being really hilarious with this wonderful sense of humor, this charm, this boyish and girlish charm that they have. Extremely charming. That's why you will see that Geminis always look very young. They look younger than their age, because this is this air sign, this is this Gemini magic that never allows them to age. No matter after how many years you meet your Gemini friends, your school friend, you'll see, oh, you haven't changed a bit. You will also see if there are people with the Gemini moon or rising, they will have that younger look on their face. They never age, because at heart they are those eternal teenagers. They are just wanting to enjoy every piece, every bit of life. That doesn't mean they are just all about enjoyment. There is a serious side to them. They think a lot about money too. For them, it's not about money, but being settled in life is very important. Because inside of them, they feel a bit unsettled. They worry about their material well-being a lot. Finances is one subject that can make a Gemini serious towards life. When they are into a relationship, it becomes a bit of a challenge for them, because they have to accommodate the third person in their life. Third person means two, they are two in one, and then the third person comes into their life. So imagine three is crowd. However, they will do it. If they really love the person, they will do it. But the partner has to be very, very understanding. The partner has to be an air sign normally, because otherwise the water signs can get shattered, the earth signs might not understand, and the fire signs might find it difficult. Once they are in a relationship, they will try their level best with their real Gemini self. They will try to make the partner feel happy. The women, if you are a man who is about to marry a Gemini woman, or are already married to Gemini women, there is no gift like that, because the man would feel he has been married to many women, because she changes no matter what the ambience is, her dress up, her way of speaking, her way of entertaining, her way of communicating, the way of relating. Everything you can expect her to be, she will be that. So you are a lucky man, because you have a woman who is versatile, who is adapting, who is changing. But if you are a man who is insecure and wants somebody who is really stable and firm and never changing, Gemini is not for you. You just have to drop that idea like a hot potato and say, no, I won't be able to handle it. But if you are a man ready to experiment life and ready to enjoy life with this eternal teenager, no matter what her age is, you'll be happy, because she will be quite a person. She will have a heart of gold, and she will have a very big heart in which she will accommodate all your friends. You will be surprised that, are they my friends or her friends? She will be so good to them all. She's the best entertainer. She'll be a very good entertainer. But if you're a lady, well, my dear, you have to have strong nerves and a strong heart too. Because even if he loves you, he will look around. His eyes will go on every woman who comes and goes. If you are in a restaurant, you're sitting with him, He is with you. He loves you a lot. He's deeply in love with you. But the moment on the side table there is another woman who comes and sits with her partner or something, he will give her a glance. He will give her a smile, most probably. For a Gemini, it is very difficult not to look at someone else. They feel they have to look at everyone. They have to smile. They have to acknowledge the presence of people. I think for some of us it becomes very difficult, isn't it? Especially if you are somebody who is very possessive. Your nerves will be jangled. by the end of the lunch or the dinner in the restaurant, you will feel as if you haven't digested anything. Right from his glances to his way of turning his head all the times. But this is something, if you try to look at it, the Gemini is not leaving you, okay? But he's just being kind. For him or for her, it's like a sin not to acknowledge the presence of somebody there. The women, however, Geminis are more in control of their emotions than the men. This is what, again, this is the difference between the two. So much of a difference that they show. When she is committed, she will try to, blend very easily. But when he is committed, he will take a lifetime to understand that he is committed. And many a times he would feel, oh, what are these chains around me? What is this marriage ring in my finger? This is the smallest handcuff I have. He will feel like that at times. But he will never try to, go really to the limits of his infidelity. He might flirt, yes. You cannot stop a Gemini. Flirting for him is as easy as drinking water, okay? And he will never consider it as if he is flirting, because for a Gemini it's like he is being kind and he is communicating, he is being cordial. He might open the door for another woman when you are his woman on the side. Or he might just run to, if she has dropped something, he will run to give it back to her. This is the difference between the Gemini man. But the Gemini woman is not really like that. She's a very good mother. She's a homemaker. She's extremely versatile. And she has a big heart. Many times this humanitarian inclination will be shown in the Gemini woman's life at one point of life or another. About Gemini features, usually they have this large foreheads, like, raised foreheads, I would say. There is this naughty twinkle in the eyes, as if they have just done a mischievous thing and they are trying to hide behind your back. Who knows, maybe they have done it. And long nose, their nose is pretty long. Sometimes a bit, hooked, but very long nose they can have. Geminis, however, have to take care in life, because as they are intellectually very developed, as they are extremely good communicators, as they are extremely versatile, life gives them quite a few challenges, because they can handle anything. But sometimes what happens is that they just get into some emotional drama, leaving what is really stable. They get into some emotional drama, and they can just mess up their whole life. They can fall for wrong people. In this charm, this communication, this flirting, this seduction, they never know how they got pulled into a particular drama. Many Geminis have very complex personal lives, extremely complex. At times, I would almost say not just complex, but very difficult, very, very difficult. I wonder how they land up into this mess. And then it becomes very difficult for them to deal with it. At times, many Geminis suffer in their lives. They have at least one tragic event that takes place, something related to their sentimental life that takes place in their life. And it is once again because in order to please others, in order to be good, in order to fulfill their intellectual needs, this need of communication, this need of pleasing, they give in to wrong demands, or they cannot defend themselves. They get caught up in the web, that you can say. And that's very difficult, dear Gemini. You have to be very careful with that. Because once the complexities start, then it's difficult. That's why in order to pin them down, to root them, they really need very strong parents and very understanding parents who can channelize this excess energy that they have, this intellectual hunger that they have, into something very constructive. Otherwise, it can become very destructive inside of them. They need very strong partners. I mean, I would feel that their partners are more like their parents. Those who have really, have had a good married life, or, are in very stable relationship with the Gemini. You have to pat your back for your own efforts because you have been understanding the Gemini changeability and need for the change. And also that you have to be their parent in order to ground this teenager inside of him or her. They will always have two ways of dealing with things. Always. One will be the extremely good way, and the other one will be a shady way. And these two things inside of this Gemini are always fighting. Whenever there's a situation, they get in front of each other. Then again, they are opposites of each other. And then they start pulling in different directions. Do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it. Okay, do it, but how do I do it? This way or that way? Or is it more constructive way or destructive way? So there will always be two things that are going on in their minds. One will be the constructive way and one will be the destructive way. And that is why the Gemini is a bit confused always confused as to what they want, where they want to go, how they want to deal with things. And as they have a very quick mind, a mind that keeps on changing very, very quickly, what happens is that for them a change is very easy. Just as they change their mind, they can change their clothes as fast as they change their mind, their jobs, their love life, their place of residence. Everything is subjected to a change in their life. If you're born under the sign of Gemini, that means you cannot expect a life that is very steady and simple. It will always involve lots of traveling. It will always involve lots of change of residence. It will always involve lots and lots of lots of changes, basically. Changes in all the ways possible will be there. Many a times the Gemini will be handling 2 jobs at the same time, or many a times Gemini has 2 weddings, 2 marriages, or they can have, they will have at least something. The 2 is very important in their life. Everything that is in 2s that happens in their lives. And that is the magic of the Gemini changes that happen. For the areas of trouble for Gemini regarding the health, they have to be very careful regarding their hands, arms, fingers. They are quite prone to problems. They might develop arthritis at a young age, basically. Then Geminis are also, prone to accidents of hands, arms, and fingers. So they have to be careful, especially if they are dealing with the machines and things like that, And they have a very green hand also. They can always try to do something in the garden. They would like to garden. They have a green hand. Have you tried, Gemini, doing something in the garden? You really have a green hand. You're blessed with that. And I also see for Geminis is that they are people who have a lot of problems to sleep. A lot of problems they can have. Sleeping problems. They're insomniac. They're very much insomniac. No matter what they do, they have their mind so much active at every time, is that finally it leads to insomnia and many a times to nervous fatigue, nervous exhaustion. They become tired. They are so tired at one point of time. So Geminis have to be very careful. They have to rest their nerves, and this is why for them walk in the natures or meditation is very important. To get grounded for a Gemini, meditation will be the key to them. Really, they have to, or they can just try something as they take a candle and just watch the wick of the candle, just to be more focused and to empty their thoughts, this big bag of thoughts that they have always. So they are very quick thinkers, and many thoughts are just, coming and going. It's like a tsunami all the time of thoughts that is happening in their mind. However, for me, I would also like to say that Geminis are highly strung people. That means their intestines react very easily because the thoughts are of so many types that their intestines can react to it, and so they can have this problem. They can have this problem of intestines, bowel movements. They can have problems of that. Then they can also have problems with migraines because the thoughts are stuck here. So headaches, sudden headaches, migraines, or at times ophthalmic migraines also. They can be, they show this tendency that they can have this also. And then last but not the least is they are speaking a lot. And when they speak a lot, what is happening is that they are not breathing enough. So there is breathlessness. And because of that, their lungs are a bit, lacking that oxygen at times. So many Geminis can also show the weakness as far as lungs are concerned. So lungs, intestines, migraines, nervous fatigue and insomnia. These are the things that they have to be really careful about. The Gemini, however, doesn't have one best friend. He is his own best friend. Always the Geminis, they themselves are their best friends. Whenever they have any problem, whatever, what happens is that the Gemini retreats, gets into his own private corner that he has, his own secret garden where he dreams, where the Gemini meets somebody. And who does the Gemini meet there? Their own twin self. And they have this chat together. The Gemini is his own best friend because he meets his own twin self and discusses with his own twin self about what is weighing heavily on his heart. A Gemini may appear to be moody, but it is not his fault. It is just the fault of this air and of this Mercury quicksilver nature. Have you tried the quicksilver? You try to, one drop of mercury and you try to catch it. You will never be able to catch it. It keeps running. And that's the secret also. If you want to get a Gemini in your life, never run behind them. When you run behind them, they run further. They lose interest immediately. They run further. You have to wait. And you have to be patient with them. This is how they are. They are extremely good at drawing, painting, not very much on writing. They would like to write, but this is the last thing that a Gemini likes. A Gemini will never pen down their thoughts. Never. Not very rarely if they are having a Virgo moon or an ascendant or a Taurus or a Libra or a Pisces moon or ascendant, then they would be interested in writing. But otherwise, a pure Gemini never writes down his thoughts because their thoughts change. They know that tomorrow their mind is going to change upon what they have written. It will change again. They will not feel about it the same way. And that's why in relationships, it's very difficult for them, because at one point they can feel a lot for someone that particular afternoon, that particular evening. They will be instantly drawn to a person, but this is out of curiosity that they get drawn to a person. The looks maybe, because whatever is beautiful appeals to their eyes. The intellect of the person maybe, or the physical appearance of the person maybe. But after the next day, they would not even remember her or his name. They would be like, they were curious for that much time. And after they are no more curious, because the moment a Gemini gets all the information, poof, the flame goes off. The Gemini loses interest. And that's why the magic to hold on or to hold or retain a Gemini in your life is don't reveal everything about yourself. That's the only magic that can work. Because the less they know about you, the more they are curious. And the more they are curious, the more they will be drawn to you. Isn't it, Gemini? Aren't you like that? You are the teenagers who are always seeking this identity in their own lives. They are rebels inside of them. They have these ideas which are rebellious. And yes, many a times they can, not many, most of the times, the Geminis don't think what they speak. And when they speak, they can utter just anything that can spoil a very important relationship or that can create a scandal. Many Geminis can have scandalous lives because of that. The men, especially the men I'm speaking about, the Gemini. The women, however, they are more, I don't know if it is being a woman that makes them more careful about how they speak, because they can be extremely diplomatic also. But with the men, Geminis, some of them they can have very scandalous lives just because the way they do things and the way they speak in public. They will not think, and people can take it in a very different way, because many a times when a Gemini speaks, he doesn't mean what he says. His intention is different, but the perception gets completely different. and because of that they can land into troubles. As far as they are not on important posts, it's fine. Things can, get sorted out. But if they are on really important posts, there they can attract many enemies, they can make enemies, they can create problems. So they have to be very careful with what they speak and how they speak. Their intention is never wrong. They like to help, they want to be of service, they want to be admired. They are like little children who need to be admired, who need to be pampered. But their ways are a bit different. When they speak, they might create a problem. It's funny because their communication is their most positive point. It can be their strength, but at the same time, if it is turned wrong, it can be quite destructive for them. So they have to be very careful. Their Vishuddhi chakra, that is the throat chakra, has to be cared for because they're very susceptible to having problems with their throat, like tonsillitis, throat aches, sore throats. They are very, very susceptible to that. So they have to take care of this part of the body, the lungs, the respiratory tract also is, you have to really take care, dear Gemini, of that. When Gemini comes back, the Gemini is eyeing all the birds in the sky. The single Gemini eyes all the birds in the sky, the beautiful colors, and enjoys each bird, literal bird watching, and never notices this little bird just next to their residence has been waiting years and years and years, so that the Gemini looks lovingly at this little bird. That's the story of the Gemini. In the air, everywhere, but forgetting that somebody waits on them. Maybe they have one secret admirer who waits on them and waits for them to commit, but never had this, never had the courage to tell the Gemini. We're very scared as to what it can lead to. But there is one strong admirer, a secret admirer that a Gemini always had. So dear Gemini, I hope you have liked this video about yourselves, or those who are in a relationship with the Gemini, or those who have the Gemini kids. Just know that that Geminis are wonderful people. They are a bit difficult to understand, but once you understand this duality inside of them and try to cope up with it, they are wonderful people to be with. You can be a bit tired at times, but it's worth it, believe me. Okay, dear Gemini, and all those who are in a relationship with the Gemini in some way or another, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, grandparents, parents, yes. Thank you for watching. Please do share, comment, and I shall see you next time. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and take good care, dear Gemini twins, of your twin self. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.